The reason why people are attracted to your light and choose to dim it is because you are a chosen one. Light triggers darkness. It disrupts darkness. It disturbs darkness. And that's why the darkness is so attracted to your light. There will be a lot of people coming into your life, and the majority are there because they are part of your purpose, and others are there because they want to protest you answering your calling. You need to learn to protect your heart and use your discernment to trust your spirit, because it will literally change the trajectory of your life. People will be attracted to your light in a selfish way, constantly calling for your attention, not because you are the same, but because you are different. It's because your character is very strong, with a deep, solid foundation, due to your integrity, your courage, and because you're willing to speak the truths in love and light to help people. That means you are a chosen, and your path is not like anyone else's path, and therefore you will attract a lot of people, but not everyone will be there to help you continue the work of God. That being said, don't stop shining your light, and don't stop being love or speaking the truth. Just keep going, moving forward, because there's so much more in store for you than you can possibly imagine. Forget about that safe job, that financial security, or that loving person, as it won't fulfill you. Because you know deep down you've been called for so much more, so much greater things than requires the kingdom that God has got for you, which means the right people, the right environment, the right circumstances. Keep trusting, believing, and keeping yourself striving to be different, to be the most loving, non-judgmental, kind, and empathetic you can be, because you are the light and you are a chosen one to lead by example. The chosen one is a hybrid soul. He's not born from light alone, not forged in the shadows' flames, but he's the biggest storm between light and dark. He's the sacred fusion between heaven and hell. He knows he carries an angel's grace and a demon's fire that he uses not for humanity's destruction, but for their transformation. The chosen one knows his darkness, but chooses to walk in the light, because he's chosen not for purity, but for balance of both energies. Only one hybrid soul who has walked through both darkness and lightness can lead others to the truth beyond duality. Have you ever felt like you are both the sun and the storm, but you can't quite explain this duality? The reason why you've never fit neatly into all love and light circles, or all shadow and rage groups, is because you are not meant to fit in any. This is simply because you are carrying the dual frequency, both light that heals and darkness that burns deceptions and illusions to the ground. You're the bridge between worlds, the reminder that the truth is as holy as love. Your emotional range, your raw truth, your refusal to bypass pain are not flaws, but evidence of your calling and mission of all the trials and tribulations to ascension. The exile that you faced was your training ground to prepare you for your battle. Now your power is ready to be wielded, not for ego, but for devotion, to heal, to awaken, and purify as chosen one with the blueprint, and lead by example to elevate others' consciousness falling your way. You probably have already asked yourself, how can I feel so divine and so dangerous at the same time? 1 minute you are channeling peace like a monk on top of a mountain. The other, you are in a castle, cutting illusions and deceptions to the ground with your truth. If that sounds like you, then don't be confused, because you're carrying something rare. You're holding the duality frequency. You are a dark and light chosen one. And your power isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. Because you are both the healer and the destroyer, and you are equally comfortable in both roles. You don't just want to help people feel better, you want to help them see the truth, even when it hurts. You've never fully belonged in light work spaces, where everything must be love and light, but you've never really belonged to shadow and darkness groups that glorify destruction. You are both, and when you walk into a room and instantly sense of what needs to be healed and what needs to be burned, you're not afraid to say the hard thing or do the hard thing. You're not afraid to sit with someone in their pain or not rescue them. And you're not afraid to burn down your own beliefs when a higher truth arises. You've always knew that healing is not just about soothing. It's about purifying, and sometimes purification looks like fire, like collapse, like confronting the lies, people coping mechanisms. You hold space for rebirth, but you also hold the sword that cuts cords that no one else is willing to sever. And the most sacred part, you never do it from ego, you do it from devotion. You destroy from love, you create from truth. You are both creator and a destroyer. When you help people, did you save them or did you awaken them? Did you make them comfortable or did you make them aware? Your emotional range is terrifying vast, and it refuses to be tamed. You can go from sacred stillness to primal grief in the same hour. One moment you are channeling divine downloads that crack open timelines. The next you are on your knees, sobbing from a pain you can't name, but feeling every cell of your being. You're told you are unstable, too sensitive, or too dramatic, but what people don't understand is that you are multidimensional. You don't just feel your own emotions, you feel the collective, you feel the timelines that never unfolded. You feel the karma that hasn't been cleared. You feel the grief of your ancestors and the range of your future self. You don't avoid any of it. You let it move you, scream when you need to. You write lines so raw it scares people. You cry, not just for yourself, but for the parts of the world that have forgotten. Most people misunderstand you completely. You've been rejected by both the light and the darkness, but you never stop walking in between them. You've tried to belong in the spiritual spaces that only preach love, but you couldn't shrink your truth enough to fit in. You've tried to belong in edgy, rebellious groups that glorify rage, but you couldn't ignore the soft, holy frequency inside you that still believes in miracles. You've been exiled, labeled too much, too intense, too contradictory, but that exile was not rejection, it's training. You were being carved from the rock into something unique that doesn't fit anywhere because you are not supposed to. You're not here to belong, you're here to bridge worlds. You walk in both the sacred temple and the underworld without losing your essence in either. You've had to learn this the hard way because your power doesn't come from choosing light or dark. It comes from embodying both consciously. You are the frequency that reminds the light of its depth and the dark of its divinity. You are the one who can speak to angels in the morning and dance with your shadows at night and still wake up happy and sovereign.